Stream. Chris Long's streaming right now.
Is he?
Yep. That guy.
That one guy.
You hate him.
Chris Wong.
Oh.
Nope. That's not very nice that you hate me. Alrighty. You were first today. You beat TCRS. I'm gonna make fun of TCRS now. People are jazzing each other. Kenny, you look like a child that fell in a well and looking at a hole. Alright, so today I'm going to torture myself and attempt a CPU Reball. Reason for this one, am I on drugs? Yes.
He is on drugs.
I'm on that high life.
He's got a gallon of PCP. Didn't even know it came
After
in a gallon.
1 injections of marijuana, this is what you get.
Didn't even know you could get that shit in a gallon.
Anybody know where I can get an Air 2 schematic? I'm having charging problems out of nowhere. Brandon Tisdale replaced the, Tanzel, replaced the charge port. It's charge port. It's always charge port. Alright, so this one is a data recovery job that was sent in. This was sent to another shop before this shop sent it in to me. They had water damage that turned into a no touch situation, which turned into a no CPU booting anymore situation. No problem, Anthony. Let's see. If you want to put Micah in a box and ship him to California, I might be able to get him a head brain MRI for cheap. I don't know if the MRI will go through that thick hair though. That manly locks of hair. Mike is angry.
That's his angry voice.
Mike is angry. That's what he does when he's angry. Alright, so we're going to start off by using our nice little fancy tool that we got from the land of China and cut this underfill out.
I don't want to go to California. I don't want cancer. Everything gives you cancer in California.
It's true. There's a lot of cancer in California, evidently.
Everything I buy, it says causes cancer in California.
Come on. Cut through. I almost want to turn my heat up a little more. There we go. Got through that layer. Let's go down here. Alright. Cut down the sides here. See if we can cut through underfill on these sides. Chat's blowing up. I can't see any of it. Re-hot CPU, bro. Need a Ginsu knife. Getting a new desk. Shop will be a mess tomorrow. I've been thinking about getting a custom desk made, but I don't know if I want to put the money into it right now. This one works fine, I guess. It's been a good desk. It's done its job. It's been a desk. So I'm on a fairly low temperature considering what we normally solder at. I'm down to 300. I'm just trying to cut away the underfill that goes around the CPU here to get us a clean pull whenever we separate this. So it should be fairly cleaned out there. Let's go through and clean it up a little bit, make sure it's nice and clean. So you all can see this, hopefully. Alright. Alright, so going down that track, you can see we got quite a bit of our underfill out there. We got a little bit right in there. That's gone, so. Most of that top layer, everything goes mostly to a via. So, I'm not too worried about scraping any lines. Most of the ones I've seen from China, at least, all those lines, it's usually scraped a little bit on that top layer anyway, so. Not too bad. What are the caps Were those caps missing near Cumulus and Mason important? Which ones? I removed these two because they were CPU caps that were on the SoC line that's shorted right now. And I also removed Mason, the NFC chip, and I removed PMIC. I removed all of the CPU caps on the back, which I'll replace, but I removed everything hoping that it wasn't the CPU, but it was the CPU. So before we put the CPU back on, we'll reball PMIC and all those other chips and put them back in place if we get a good reball. The hardest problem that I've found is A, getting the chip off without warping it, and B, getting it to reball properly. Reballing CPU does not tend to be very easy. As far as getting a good reball, and that's something that I've been practicing, but I have not perfected. Chinesium? It is a Chinesium. Chinesium model. I'm going to clean my my shim tool up a little bit to make sure it's nice and clean so it'll slide under the CPU without much issue. So these kits are just shim kits. I'll see if you can see it. You can see it's just a thin piece of metal. It's got good like tensile strength against it though, so it can flex quite a bit but not bend and actually like break or kink. So they're really nice tools to have. Expensive stencils for the CPU? Yeah, I haven't been able to find the ones that you can actually lock it in though. Pre-made 0.25s on the CPU. Actually, I do use pre-mades on the CPU most of the time, but it's still not always successful. Alright. So let's go ahead and get our shim tool ready. We're going to need to separate the RAM chip from the CPU first. I've seen videos of pulling both of them together, but I don't know. Maybe I can try pulling them both together, and if it doesn't work and we have an SD short, we'll pull that off. We'll try that out. Screw it. What's going to happen? It not work? It already doesn't work. So we've got it nice and cleaned out. There's no underfill between the chip now. I'm going to put down some flux around it just to help whenever it does finally start to lift some. It'll flow under the chip and help with melting the solder. Alright, so we're going to crank our temperature down a little bit, and we're going to crank our airspeed up. I'm going to have to do most of this off of the microscope camera, but you should be able to see it here on this camera. It's just going to be heating the chip until the underfill is soft and the solder starts to melt under the CPU. I'm using a fairly large nozzle compared to what I normally work with. have to put something to keep this from sliding, because I'm putting pressure against the CPU as I push in. I'll go ahead and put a little more flux down too. I've made a little cut in on this end, but I gotta get the solder melting before I go to try to push through it. Okay, I'm going to increase my heat a little, up to 300. I feel like 280 might be just slightly too low. I've gotten these off before at higher temperatures, but I'd like to try to stay at a lower temp. There we go. Now it's cutting in. Okay, CPU is off. Let's take a look at it. We may have some lifted pads, but it's not uncommon for the CPU. But for the most part, I think we should be good. We got 1, 2 lifted, but there are quite a few NC pads in the CPU, so we'll hope and pray that those are all NC pads. Alright, so we'll set our CPU over here to the side and let it cool. Try to leave it on a flat surface so it cools evenly. Now, the nerve-wracking part of going in here, I'm going to turn my temperature down a little bit so I'm not overly hot when I put leaded solder down here. I don't want to touch the pads. I just want to take my leaded solder and get them all kind of flushed with lead. That way I can come in and wick them down. Alright. Yeah, there's a lot of balls here. It's a lot of balls. Alright, so I'm going to try to really want to make sure all these are flushed with leaded solder. That way when we go back in here to wick these, we're not going to have much issue. Alright, time for the wicking. ESD sensitive? I have no clue. I'll tell you one thing it's sensitive of. getting destroyed by lots of heat. Yeah, see, that's going to lift a lot of pads if I try to scrub it. I'm going to check all these to make sure that we aren't lifting needed pads. Most of these should be NC. Like I said, the CPU has a fair amount of NC pads under it. That and different ground planes and stuff, but last time I did it, I think we only lifted NC pads, so. Okay, let's clean it up and start doing some checks to see if we have anything important missing. Whole bag of chips is here. Alright, so we've got some underfill in there that needs to be still kind of cleaned out. We'll make sure we clean this up as well as we can with the wick. Right now what I'm doing is trying to clean all this underfill out from under the chip
Alright, Ashley, you can tell
without
tell that
lifting
lady
too
this
many
stuff
pads.
is done.
So it's done. How much? Does he
And it's
know?
going to be $80.
Plus tax or?
Yeah, plus tax on the high tax.
Got quite a few pads lifted, but we'll see what they are. Chances are that most of those are NC pads, so I'm going to come back in and I'm going to wick with some braid with hot air just to knock all these as flat as I can get them.
Didn't he fill out a paper or anything?
Just from feeling. I've got a phone
Do
number.
we have
and
any
name.
papers out there?
Huh?
Do we have any papers out there?
I don't think
I
so.
don't think so.
Okay. That's fine.
The lady you talked to is Ashley. She's right here. It's my girlfriend.
Hi. You can't see me because I'm hiding.
She's hiding.
I don't have a camera ready face like this.
You saying my face is camera ready or something? Alright, so I'm just trying to clean. There's a little more underfill along this edge here. Don't want to be overly aggressive, but at the same time,
What people?
On this laptop.
Yeah, I'm messaging this kid.
Okay. Oh, wait, there you go.
alright, so that looks fairly clean. Now let's do some do we fuck it by lifting a pad search. Let's hope the answer is no. Let's see, do any of these per se look like they go to anything? No, we still have some underfill though I need to clear out. I might be in luck. So far all the pads I'm looking at look like they're NC. I'll check them against ZXW, but... Alright, so let's see if we can lightly clear out some of this. I'm not overly concerned with it being perfectly flat. More so just nothing being raised above the connections where the solder needs to be. I'm just looking for spots that look fairly high.
Okay.
I think those look okay.
Is that one finished? Does it have a paper?
Alright,
Does
so
it have a paper?
No.
Maurice is saying that they're NC, but we're gonna check them anyway. Not that we don't trust Maurice, but we need to make sure.
Okay, we need to print some and have people fill them out since we're now BNC out there too.
Okay.
Alright, so I'm gonna switch you all over to how do people do NAND upgrades? You can reprogram the NAND. You just, on the NAND, it wipes it clean and it assigns a serial number. You use the phone serial number and information off the old NAND and you write it to the new one, then you have to reinstall the operating system. We have a NAND reprogrammer here. I've done a couple, well, I've done quite a few NAND swaps, but we've done one upgrade on NAND size. It's just not very cost effective, so not many people want to get it done. Still cleaning out some underfill here that I can see. It's coming up fairly easy. The key is to get your pads fairly flat, that way you don't catch an edge on one of them and pull it off. Still want to be fairly gentle.
Hey, this is Micah from BNC. You dropped the laptop off with us on, I think it was Sunday, for an LCD. We got the LCD in, we got it installed, but there's some other issues with the PC. If you could give me a call back at 502-420-8850. Thanks, bye. Right.
Okay, now let's check for NC pads. iCloud locks on Wi-Fi only devices. Yes, you can reprogram the NAND to do that. So let's switch it over to schematics. And Let's do NC pads. So you can see the CPU has quite a few NC pads under it. We'll start in the top corner here. And we'll check. So let's see, third down, NC. 4 over is all NC. So all these are NC, those are good. 2 up, those are NC pads. This is an NC pad. Let's see here, this is the 6th down. That's an NC pad. This is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11th down, 1 over. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 1 over, NC. This one is 11, 12, 13, 14 down, 4 over. 14th down, 4 over is NC. Let's start from the bottom here. Third row up, NC, NC, and NC. These 4 are NC. Let's see, how many above that? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Third in, NC. NC, okay. Here, NC pad also. Here, NC pad. Alright, so we're looking good. Looks like all the pads that are lifted are just NC pads, so we don't have to worry about those. So half the battle is done. I'm going to continue to try to clean this up as much as I can because I want there to be a clean mating surface for the CPU. I'm just barely putting pressure against this. I don't want excessive pressure that'll lift stuff, so just the slightest amount of pressure scraping on this underfill. Okay, so now comes the fun part of doing the CPU itself. So we're gonna hope that the SD-RAM chip has not shifted and is still well connected. And we're gonna do the same thing on the bottom of the CPU that we did to the board. I'm gonna run it over with some leaded solder first, and then we're going to try to come back in and reball this thing, which is the hardest part for me personally. I'm sure there's somebody out there that's like, well, that shit's easy, but
That shit's so easy, I don't know why you struggle.
it's not easy for me.
Bing bong, ding ding, pang pong.
Okay, I'm going to take my wick, see if I can lightly go over this. We may have to come in and hit some of these up. I'm going to turn my temperature down just a little more.
Are you using the X-Acto, Chris?
No.
I'm gonna steal it. Jesus Christ,
I
you're
almost
trying to
killed
cut
you.
me.
I almost killed you. You almost died.
Oh my god.
Chris over here trying to cut me up.
I cut you so good, you wish I didn't cut you so good.
I have one big pick that I've always used open. I cut this now.
Yeah, we're going to have quite a few pads on the CPU that are going to have to be cleaned up and re-tinned because they're kind of dry joints right now. and that's just from the process of pulling them. Okay, let's clean it off and see how much underfill we have left. Got a little bit left, not a whole lot. Winds up in permanent DFU, restore iTunes, waiting for iPad, 2-finger button press on iPad does nothing. I don't think I've ever seen that. Okay, so we got a little underfill in this corner. Hopefully that's not what I think it is. Is it damage to the CPU? It is. Oh shit. So we got a damaged spot right there on the CPU, which I saw it earlier and I was hoping it was just a pad that lifted on the other side. We'll see if it's an NC pad, but I don't know. Doesn't look like it, but it could be a ground or something. We may be able to get away with it if it's just a shared ground through the chip, which is possible. So I'm just rubbing the braid against this underfill. Kind of like a Brillo pad almost. A copper Brillo pad. Alright, so let's switch it back over here. Okay, so the bottom of the chip feels pretty smooth. We may have a little underfill here and there, but I think we got the majority of it. Alright, so let's clean up one more time and then check this pad. Hopefully it's nothing important. At least not for the function of data. That's one thing we have to keep in mind here. Even if there's a pad that controls like rear camera or something that's fucked up, we don't really care about that. We're more or less looking for functionality of the phone to get data off. So pin 1 seems to be in this corner here. Got a little bit underfill right in here. Okay, that's good. A little bit right in here too. Alright. So let's see which side. I can tell where started prying there, so I know approximately where I'm supposed to be looking. So that is at the bottom. It is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 from the outside. So 1, 2. $17. Let's make sure. It is ground. Woo! And my guess would be that is shared through the chip. So if we meter here, there should be a ground pad. 1, 2, 3, I think. Well, I'd help if my meter was on. So 3 away, I think it is. Let me see here. Yeah, so yeah, it's ground. Should be ground here too. Yep. Alright, so that's a ground pad, so it's not a big deal. And it's tied throughout the chip. So we don't have to worry about functionality being affected with that trace. Alright, so there's going to be a long process here. I'm going to have to go through and tin all of these pads that are kind of dry. Doesn't take too long, but yeah, I'm going to have to go pad by pad and tin them. Just takes a little bit of heat and flux with a little fresh solder, and it'll rejuvenate these pads. I've tried to use the big iron to do it, but it won't get down on the pad well enough. It won't suck enough heat into the trace to kind of rejuvenate it. So this is the easiest way that I've found to get those pads to kind of shine again. Probably could use like some MEK or something, maybe to strip that oxidation layer off, but no need for it. What's up, Edie? So just going through and tinning all these, and what we'll do is we'll come back and we'll wick them once we're done. Don't answer it. It's China. It's China. It's LCD1. Is it?
Yeah, it was. With a very thick accent that I can barely understand.
Yep, it's LCD1. They call all the fucking time. You want to put in screen order and no.
Pick that laptop up tomorrow. The one I messaged about. Oh my god.
Let's turn our temp up a little bit. That was a little too low. It was bridging pads and stuff from the heat not being high enough. Chris Daniels. Hell yeah. Is this Chris Daniels? This thing's gonna probably be boring to watch. I'm not gonna talk a lot because I'm gonna be focusing on this. TCRS is talking about the fact that I was renamed to Chris Daniels on Paul Daniels' stream. Or no, it was on Jess's stream. I got renamed to Chris Daniels. I'm now Paul Daniels' illegitimate son. Why is Oberdick called Butterfly? Well, Michael Oberdick signed up for Twitch and was on Lewis's channel. Well, I think he made a donation or something, and Twitch tries to self-edit like offensive content, so it changed his last name since it has the word dick in it. It changed it to Butterfly because it wasn't offensive. So it changed his name to Michael Butterfly. So Twitch funds Oberdick's last name to be offensive. Speaking of China, where are my parts boards? China is good for parts boards, that's true. Okay, we're almost done with this side, and then we gotta go to the other side. This is the fun, exciting part. This tinned up fairly easy. Some of these I can just wipe over and they'll tin, but other ones I have to sit there and leave my iron on them for a second. Alright, let's clean that up and then move to the other side.
I'm gonna go ahead and go.
Okay.
And take the other sheets. Is this the only thing going out? Is everything in there?
He paid too. Mike, did you swap that screen on that 6S yet?
Swap the screen.
The one you pulled the screen off of?
Oh, I was supposed to put another screen on it?
Yeah.
Micah. BNC.
Sorry.
Yes, can I help you? Hi, can I help you? This is Ashley from BNC. Did you have something repaired here, perhaps? Okay. Alright, then that would be the only reason we called. We repair cell phones and computers. Okay, alright. Okay, thanks.
What'd they say?
Some woman called.
Yeah.
I guess because, I don't know. From the
What'd
way
she
it
say?
sounded like, well, she was like, who is this? And then her husband or boyfriend got on the phone, so evidently they were having a dispute about whose number that was.
And a girl answered too, made it even better.
Yeah.
You just broke up the
I
relationship.
hope so. Dumbasses. Stupid people.
Okay. So I actually just broke up somebody's relationship, and I've gotten redone. I've redone all the solder on this, so now I should be able to wick it flat and attempt the reball that's going to drive me insane.
The phone Micah has goes in the priority box.
Yes.
Okay. Then I will go ahead and print this.
Fine solder tip, yeah. That's the micro tweezer tip for the Hako micro tweezers. Alright, everybody looks good. Let's put some Lewis jizz all over it. Oh, I missed one, I see it. Can't forget that one. Where was he? There it is. Alright. So back to it. More Lewis jizz to help with the picking up of the solder. Alright. Let's see y'all. I guess the other thing we kind of need to know is, since we had a short from ground to SOC, we need to make sure that that's not internal to the chip and wasn't just a solder ball. There were some solder balls that were touching other lines. That the 1v2 SD RAM line was actually touching the 5v7 LCM line, which kind of scares me that the SD RAM could be messed up, which if it is, I'll just have to separate it later. Alright, so let's put a little more on this chip. Let's clean up our workspace a little bit. You should add the tips to your description. Yeah, I need to. The Hako micro tweezers are there, but I don't think we have the actual tips listed. Alright, we got one pad that's a little high right there. Alright, so this substrate's fairly forgiving because the actual CPU itself is, this is a BGA flip chip, so the actual CPU itself is on the other side of this substrate and is mated to the substrate, so the substrate itself kind of gives you a buffer zone to where you can keep from messing it up. Looks still fairly straight. I don't see any like solder popping out, so I'm fairly confident the SD RAM may be okay. Alright, so SOC time. We need to figure out where our SOC lines are. And then we need to compare those to where ground are. Okay, so what's our closest one here? We've got one that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 up, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in. And right below it is ground. So from pin 1, which is here, 7 up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and ground. Okay. No short.
Alright, here, this one's
2,
go.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
That goes into
Okay,
this one.
so
Okay.
there's no short there.
Goes in here.
Yeah, here's the paperwork. Peel the sticker off the screen. Make sure it works. Okay, cool. Alright, the moment of truth. The part that it will drive me absolutely nuts is reballing it. Hard at work, yeah. Yeah. Not really hard at work, but doing something. So this part will drive me insane. What do we have here? An A8? Yep. So let's see if we can find an A8 CPU stencil. They should have one. Yep, here's one. So I'm gonna get a couple pieces of paper towel. Couple people. Paper towel kind of give me a buffer so that I can press down without being too overly aggressive. Okay, is the CPU longer one direction than this? Guess so. Alright, so I'm going to put down a thin layer of flux. Have you ever shaved? Yes, I have shaved before.
I don't like to see it.
Ashley hates to see my face though, so she makes me
You look so
shave.
weird without the beard now.
She hates me, everyone.
When I met you, you didn't have it.
I didn't have a beard when she met me, but now she can't stand to see my face. I cry at night a lot. I call Micah and tell him how upset I am. Alright, so let's get our Sayer balls. Okay, I'm going to try not to knock the stencil off of its placing. My goal here is to get as many placed as I can and then come back and fill in the individual ones later. Okay, now the goal is to place the rest of these, whoop, without fucking it up. Which I just did. Yay, so restart. Look at that. A lot of those are placed properly and I fucked it up. Redo. Knocked it loose one time. One time. That's all it takes. All it takes. Alright, let's try that again. Make sure our chip is nice and cleaned off. And take two. Put our flux down. Smooth it out to a thin layer. Okay. Set our stencil back over it. See a little fiber there. Not sure what that was, but whatever. Okay, we'll retry this again. Let's see if I can just kind of heat this to get the flux to melt some and grab onto the stencil a little bit here.
I'm gonna go.
Okay.
That phone was supposed to go in this box, right?
Yes.
See you at like 2 o'clock in the morning.
I'll be there.
Can you throw my tea away because I can't carry it?
See ya. Taping it down, yeah, you could, but it'll cause it to bow in the center. Bowing in the center equals no bueno. Alright, that's plenty. Let me clean my tips off here. NC pads can't short because they don't go to anything. Ground pads, on the other hand, they can short. See, I'm pressing on the outside of the stencil there and it's lifting it up, so I can't do that. I need Larry to come here and show me how to do these. He does pre-made reballs all the time. Larry, where you at, bro? I think we got problems already. Let's see. Yep, we already got issues. It already lifted up and was bowed up. I'm gonna try to tape the CPU to the back side of it. I doubt it'll work, but we'll try. Usually it causes bowing. This is why I like to do paste most of the time, but paste may not work here. I don't know. I've seen paste done and be successful. I may try paste. Fuck it. Who cares? Will you try paste? We'll try paste once. Before I go taping it down to the CPU. Some of those actually already took where I reflowed it the first time. Alright. Time to go to Old Faithful Paste. See how this goes. It may not go well. It may go very well. Who knows? We're gonna find out. Can't keep my tweezers wide enough. I may have been successful there. I don't know. These down here in the corner look a little sketchy, but yeah, the glass may be a necessity. Let's see. We got a few bare ones, but I don't know. We got a majority of them down. I can place the other ones. I'm gonna reflow this real quick to make sure that those are stuck down, but one of my little fuck ups in the middle, I can see where I exposed some inner trace and stuff, or not inner trace, but just some of the trace on the bottom of the. Come on, take your pad. Alright. Let's transfer this over and get some pre-mades and put them on. See, I got one there that's kind of bridged across. I'm going to check that. If that's ground, I'm going to remove those because I don't want to risk that bridging. There's a good chance that is ground. Yeah, you do need a third arm for this shit. I don't see how those guys do like this shit with the just jankiest tools. They make it look like it's nothing. I guess if you practice enough on this, you can make it look that way. Like it's a cakewalk. Alright, so I'm going to steal some solder balls from down here. And hopefully place them up here. Okay, that one's stuck. Ah, I thought it stuck. Looked like it did. No, it won't fucking stick. That one took. That one took. It's crazy how these pads can oxidize like that. There we go, took it that time. Damn it. Just dropped it onto the one next to it. Oh my god, stick to the pad. Like the pad is like right underneath it, it won't stick to it. And it attached itself to the next one up. It's stupid sometimes. Oh, nice. Made a bridge for me now. There we go. Separated them. Oh, made another bridge for myself. That one's gonna have to go. It's way too big. See if I can pick that one off without fucking myself. Alright. I have to set some more balls in there though. From where I fucked it up. They should sit fairly easily though. Since those are already tinned. Alright, I think we got everybody. Let me check that one in the middle. Had a customer say, I didn't know iPhones had batteries. Huh. I have people come in and say they didn't know that the iPhone battery was replaceable. Which I could understand that, because since it's not removable, they don't think that it can be replaced. Am I drunk? No. Should I be? Maybe. Alright, so I got 2 pads that need solder balls. And I see 2 stray solder balls. I need to clean it off a little more. Do they really have batteries? Larry with his jokes. Trying to get this cleaned off, but they got so many fucking little fibers in there. Probably drive myself nuts trying to get all those out. Okay, so we've got one here that needs to be solder put on it. The rest of them look okay. I would be alright with that. I got one there that's too large, and the one next to it is too small, so I'm gonna pick those off. See, the one here is too large, and the one, I don't know if I can get in focus. Too big, too small, too small. Why does my fucking scope always just fucking slide down? And then this is the one that I was interested in. I bridged that trace, and that's why that bridge is there. If that's ground and it's tied to everything else, I'm going to remove it just to avoid any issues. But let's start by taking this large solder ball off. Put a little flux down. Alright. So let's get us some tiny little solder balls here. There's a large one there too. Looks like we got a couple large balls right in that area. It could be the flux kinda. No. We got a couple that are too big up there towards the top. We'll come back to those. Okay, it's one down. Okay, got one there, and then we need to knock that one down a little bit. Okay. Then we need to knock that one down and that one down a little. Let's see if that knocked them down enough to where we don't have to reball them. They might be okay. Let's take a look at them. We still got a little dip on this one right here, and I think it's because the pad's offset, so I might have a small pad there too. Yeah, we do. We got one. Where is it? Right here. I think that'll be enough. And then we'll check that bridge in the center and see what it is. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. What are you in the middle? Okay, so pin 1's up there. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 14 down, or 14 over. 1, 2, 15 down. So 14 by 15. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That is PP09 FX SOC. So let's see if those are tied throughout the CPU. Looks like they straight shot across here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so they are tied together. So I'm gonna take that out if I can, without screwing myself. So let's see if I can get in there without. What sucks is I bet it's ground on the other side. Yeah, of course it is. What else would it fucking be if not ground? So I'm gonna try to suck away as much of that as I can. Let's see if I can use my tweezers to kind of steady my. Okay, so that took a little bit off. Alright, that knocked it down some. So a quick once over to make sure everybody is balled up well. Okay. All right. Was this a waste of time, or is this just going to be successful? We're about to find out. This is going to be the last thing I do, and then I'm going to go home. If it doesn't work, I might come back to it tomorrow, but I'm going to go get me some food and go home. The main thing I'm looking for is to put this back on, because I'm going to have to reball PMIC and stuff anyway. But my main thing here is to get it back on and not have a short on the lines for the SoC, which is what we had a problem with before. We had a 0 ohm short to ground on SoC, even after removing all the caps. So let's see. We got a few that are a little tall. There's one there. There's one there. And one there. But other than that, everybody else looks pretty uniform. We're going to roll our dice on this one and take a chance. So, let's put down a thin layer of flux. We don't want a shit ton, because if we put too much on there, it's going to cause the chip to want to float. And we don't want that. We just want it to promote good bonding back to the pads. Let's go ahead and line up our CPU. I can use my tool to kind of gauge it where it should be. Alright, let's try this shit out and see what happens. So I'm going to turn my airspeed up a little bit. We're going to heat this up until it fucking seems like it's in position. Fairly confident that was hot enough to make it melt, especially since it's leaded. It looks like it's positioned where it should be. Well, we got a few little solder balls over here. That kind of disheartening there. Maybe we got lucky and they were just something else. Let's see. Well, it looks connected. I can see the connections under the CPU there. Still warm, but it's cold enough. Moment of truth's gonna be here when we measure these rails. If it's short, I mean, it's gonna be disheartening, but what can you do, right? So let's see. Alright, so SOC line that was short. So this was the line that was short earlier. Is now not shorted. And it's reading a normal ohms. It's not reading 0 anymore. It's reading over 100 and climbing, which is normal for that line. 150 ohms is about where that needs to be, and it's climbing up there. It's at 190 and 100, right in between that and going up. All right, let's see. SD RAM not shorted. Let's see. That's GPU. It's normal 34. This should be GPU also. Yep, about 40 ohms, 30 to 40 ohms on GPU. Let's see. Uh-oh. Yeah, we might be fucked. I think we're fucked. We got a line that's fucked. Damn it.
Damn.
It's an SOC line.
Is it?
Yeah,
Still?
it's a different one.
Oh. Did you get the one
Fuck.
to come back up?
Yeah, I got the other one to come back up, but this one's shorter now.
Does that mean you gotta pull and reball, or?
Yep. Yeah, pull it and reball it again. Hold on. Yeah. It's dead short. It's 0 ohms on both sides of the cap. Fuck me. Damn it. So we've got the line that's shorted is the PPVAR SOC line. It's some of the center balls. The great thing about those is they're literally next to ground balls everywhere, so who knows? Even if I am from Kentucky? Alright. Well, I'll take that. I mean, I'm pretty happy with how it's set down. I mean, looking across the edge of this chip, everything looks decent. Doesn't look bad. Let me just put some flux in there and reflow it again and see what happens. Sometimes you get lucky and you can do a reflow and get it to separate with some flux. We'll try it just for shits and giggles. We'll let that cool off again and see. I doubt that did anything, but we'll find out. But this, progress-wise, this is closer than I've ever gotten. I mean, who knows? The SDRAM well, the SDRAM line, the 1B8 at least, was good. I don't know if the 1B2 was okay. I'd have to check that. Let me see if I can find the 1B2 line. Alright, so it's over there next to the other lines. Baseband, I'm fairly confident on baseband CPUs. I can do those fairly easy. It's all about repetition. I mean, it's do it until you're good at it. And I'm sure with more time put into this, god damn it, stay in the holder. I'm sure with more time put into this, I'll be able to get to a point where I can probably do these. I think it's going to be a necessity with the iPhone 7. I foresee a lot of issues with the SD-RAM after drops. And being able to pull and reball the SD-RAM is going to become a necessity. I have a feeling it will be. I've noticed that what's his name? G-Lon, the company G-Lon, they've got videos out already for the SD-RAM on the iPhone 7, and I don't think it's coincidental that they've already done that, because I've seen several iPhone 7s with SD-RAM shorts after hard drops. Alright, Magic Pixies, please help me and be not shorted. No, it's still shorted. Let's see if this, see, the SD-RAM's not short. So the SD-RAM is actually good on this thing. Yeah, see, the SoC line here is now up to normal. It's up to 170 ohms, which is where it should be. So I relieved the short on the line that we had the short on, but now we have a short on a different fucking line. Let me see if maybe the cap's bad. I don't think it would be, but there may be somewhere on the back of the phone maybe that the cap could be having an issue with. I doubt it. It goes straight to the PMIC. The PMIC is off, so the only thing in between this is, yeah, the line that comes from is right in here somewhere. So I don't think it's one of those. It's got to be either the cap or the CPU, and I'd be willing to bet that it's CPU. Yeah, we got it reballed. As you can see, under the edge of that CPU, you can see all the balls that have reseated to the pads. But we have a short on one of the different lines now. And it's just one line that's shorted right now, which sucks. Should I do dead bug wiring on the fucking CPU? What do you think, Micah?
What is it?
Dead bug wire the CPU?
What do you mean?
Flip it upside down and solder individual wires to every connection.
God, no. That'd take a year.
It'd take a while. I wouldn't do that. Fuck all that shit.
Years.
I'm sure YouTube's not gonna be like, do it, do it. Alright, so I'm gonna flood this with some leaded solder like I do the front. Yeah, it did have balls come out, but they weren't on that side. That's what's weird. The side that has those lines on were actually on the opposite side of the board. So I don't know where they came from. I don't know where the balls could be just like random like NC pad balls that got knocked off and flowed out somehow. Or maybe I had some solder stuck to the side of the CPU and I didn't see it when I was putting it back on. I don't know. For all I know, there's a short on some random data line that was not going to make it work anyway, even if everything else was clear. That's the problem with CPU. It's a delicate repair. All right, my mother is delicate. Thank you, Micah. She is a lady. Make Louisville proud. Alright, I'm going to put the PMIC back on just to see if this thing will do anything different. If we got an Apple logo, I would be happy with that. But I don't see that happening, but just for the hell of it, if we got Apple logo, I'd be happy. Just to say that I could at least get Apple logo back after replacing the CPU. I really wish I know they're out there, but I have not been able to find them. The jigs that hold these CPUs, they make a jig that holds the CPU and the stencil, and that would be awesome. Fan spin. It'd be fan spin, but no CPU, like a MacBook. That would be our achievement here. Fan spin with no chime. CPU's dead. Alright, so let's do this real quick and then I'm getting the fuck out of here. I feel like I've gained a little bit here. I've learned quite a bit. It's impressive to me that you can leave the SD RAM on like that and it doesn't short it out. I thought it would short it out, but maybe the lines are shorted together and I just don't know it yet. But the fact that the SD RAM lines right now are not shorted to ground at all is awesome. Like they're reading normal. Okay, so all those lines on the PMIC are tinned up. Let's go ahead and clean them off. Okay. You think the cap's shorted, Amy? On the SoC line? Could be. Okay, so let's Reball our PMIC real quick. And then see if it'll boot. And if it won't, or if it does, either way, going home.
Either way, we're going home.
We're gonna do a to be continued either direction, I guess. To be continued. Next week on As the World Turns. Monica, is this your boyfriend? Because I've been sleeping here with him for 6 weeks now. Am I closed? Yes, I'm closed.
You're closed. I'm ready to go home.
Micah's ready to go home. Micah, big boy, he ready to go home.
I'm ready to go home.
He ready to go home, big boy. Big boy, go home.
Big boy.
I'm a big boy.
Chris.
I'm a big boy. I do big boy things.
By myself.
I put my pants on 2 legs at a time.
I'm a big boy.
I jump in my pants.
I was making reference to what's eating killer grapes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm eating your grapes.
I'm eating your grapes.
I eat your grapes all the time.
Your grapes went sour weeks ago.
Yeah? Sounds like you got some sour grapes.
Sour grapes.
The stencil is flexed in the center, and it's gonna give me shit.
Chris done fucked up balling.
Ball your face, Micah.
There you go, Kenny. Eat one. Pick one. Eat it.
I didn't fuck it up. Look at that. Beautiful.
I can't see it.
I don't think it's beautiful. I might have two missing, but beautiful. I'm just gonna say it's beautiful, Micah, just so you have to look.
I can't see it, Chris.
Beautiful, Micah.
Kenneth Noise
In this case, it would really depend. Since this is water damage still, it would most likely be data only. There's just a lot of variables. If this did work, you still have a lot of chance that there's going to be subsystems that are fucked up. And those subsystems can cause the phone not to turn on, or yada yada yada. And it just becomes a pain in the dick phone that keeps returning to your shop. With the extensiveness of this, I would suggest doing data only, but I am not. I don't think it's going to turn on, just to be honest. Just based on that, I'll pull it back off and I'll give it another college try tomorrow. If it doesn't boot, but after that, I'll have to just call it for what it is, and you'll have to tell that other store never to fucking touch a phone again. Please, for the love of God, just go on your fucking pad. God damn it, this thing sometimes. Just fucking stupidity. Oh, immediately starts to creep over to the other pad. Thank you. Alright, pin my Caesar Reball. We need to wick our pads on the phone itself. So we'll cut ourselves a piece of wick. John Wick. Wickles. Touch on my wickles. That's already been done to their face. Well, that's good. That's what the deal I'm dealing with in my hometown right now, or where I work at least. There's a company here that does repairs, they attempt to do repairs like I do. And the problem is they fuck up a lot of them. And then I see them after they've been fucked up. And then I have to try to fix all the fuck ups. And they like to claim that they have a high success rate and this and that, and I was wondering if their success rate counted the ones that they completely fucked to where the phone won't turn back on or not. Because they've had a few of those. Alright, so time for the old PMIC to go back down and see what happens. Turn it around. Don't turn around. Uh-oh. The last time I talked about the other company that does work across town for me, one of their employees' wives came and put a negative review on my website and said that I was very unprofessional because I told someone that they should come check me out because we can offer services that their company could not reference to them directly, but just saying we could offer services and repairs that other companies in town could not. And that didn't sit too well with her, so she got mad about it and left me a 1-star review, even though she's never been to my store. Hopefully I didn't mush my CPU down there. No, still good. Let's see if we got any VCC main shorts that would prevent this from trying to turn on. Nope, no VCC main short. Alright, let's see if it catches on fire. It might. It might catch on fire. I'm going to plug in a screen just for shits and giggles. Where is the screen? Is the question. There it is. Alright, let's see if we have instant amp draw as soon as we plug it in. That'll tell us how our night's gonna go. Yeah, it's got a amp draw already. Not very high, but enough to tell me that as soon as I hit this power switch, I'm gonna have some heat. Yep, we got a 0.42 amp draw. Let's see what's getting warm. CPU or PMIC is getting hot, which we already kind of knew that was going to happen. Let's try to knock that cap off just for the fuck of it. I highly doubt that cap was the issue, but we'll check. Nope, it's still dead short, even without the cap. So, CPU is going to have to be pulled. It does pull a lower amperage than it did before. Before, as soon as I hit the power button, we were pulling 1 amp. Now, oh yeah, CPU gets hot as shit. On that side too, where the short is. So now we're getting a 400 milliamp draw, but it's fucking heating the CPU all to hell. Hot enough that my finger hurts. And I got pretty calloused fingers. Which stencil are you talking about, Q-Tech? Are you talking about my regular stencil or my CPU one? A CPU one's just some off-the-shelf one that I bought from Union Repair. That they didn't have a high precision, so it's just like a whatever the fuck. That's just a. This is RAM and CPU only, and then my other stencils don't have the RAM and CPU on them. But they're the high precision stencils. As you can see, all the holes in them are square punched instead of circular, which helps them pull away from the stencil when they reflow. I am going to pull CPU tomorrow, and I will reball it again, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll fucking work. If not, we tried. We've definitely made progress, but we weren't successful, which I'm not too down about. I mean, CPUs are hard to do. I mean, obviously, with enough practice, it becomes something easy to do, but I'm not there yet. Yeah, I'll definitely stream the retry. But thank you all for watching. We've had over 40 viewers the last couple nights, and it's awesome. Let's keep it going. Get more viewers, more people we can educate. And hopefully we can get to 1,000 subs. We're creeping up on it. So, thank you everyone for watching, and I'm going to go get my proverbial Lewis burrito, which is not actually, I don't know, it might be a burrito. I don't know, we already had burrito today.
We did.
We had a burrito earlier, so I don't think I'm going to burrito again. But thank you everyone for watching, and in the famous words of AVE, keep your dick in a vice. Later.